It's time to bug with Brainstory. Do you want to bug with? Do you want to bug with Brainstory? Do you want to bug with Brainstory? Do you want to bug?
What I've been doing lately is literally just having fun, trying to find out ways to make it like fun, and then the ideas don't have to be forced. It just like flows way easier.
That's like always your constant. It has to be like your little mantra kind of thing. Like, it has to be fun. Like, if we're not having fun, then what's the point?
Yeah, it gets that forcing it feeling is like the worst.
Because you can't even tell when you're forcing it. You're just doing stuff, so you're just like so drained, and you're just wondering why the ideas aren't coming out, or you're just like,
Or they'll just be crap, and halfway I just give up. Like, fuck this song, I'm never playing it again.
and then,
Yeah.
Is that how you like get ideas? Do you just like hum them on your phone, or do you like just like write it down? Like you like,
yeah.
I don't even make music, but I kind of like rhythms and like stuff, so I'll just catch myself and just repeat it and just put it away, and I won't even look at it till like way later.
That's definitely like
that's it.
Because I feel like what I've been into for the last couple of years, like recording has been like the biggest revelation as far as documenting your ideas, and the phone is like the main journaling like device that you have to document these random shits, like when you're driving, or because I just feel like you just want to have a plethora of stuff that you're just sitting on, that if you don't have any inspiration to create something new in that moment right there, you go back to those little voice memos, and then you're like, oh shit, oh damn, what the hell was I thinking right here? I'm gonna fuck with this, and then you kind of just use that as a launch pad.
Like, it could be the loosest like idea, and you're like, where it'll bring you back to that moment of like, oh, I know exactly what like tempo.
Yep.
And it's like that's what you do with like notebooks. It's like
exactly.
My notebooks is like to write shit down, and then not based on like not like really like depend on the internet, like Google Friends or something, to like to be able to go through my notebook and be like, all right, I can create something out of this, and like see if I can make some art out of this shit, or like
hell yeah,
true inspiration.
I feel like a lot of time. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No.
Oh, I feel like a lot of time when I like record something, sometimes like in the moment I'll think it's whack, and I was like over it, but then I'll like sit on it for like 2 months or something and come back and be like, whoa, this is actually tight. But at the moment I like hated it or something,
Yeah, the perspective is what changes in those moments, which to me makes any little like bullshit like idea of you humming it or something like that like so much value, like it's super valuable. Like every little idea you have, I think you should just document it right away in any way, shape, or form, not even trying to polish it, just like
how much of a bummer is it when
later
when you're like I'm gonna remember it, and then you're like,
you never remember it.
Smoke too much weed to remember shit. I never remember shit.
Eating shit, because it's like it's a good idea if you still remember that shit like without writing it. It's like a good idea.
That's
those are the best ones for sure.
Like, you don't even have to jot it down. It's like, you just have it.
So Richie, I was wondering, like, so what is your day-to-day looking like? Is it different because of the quarantine and everything, or are you finding different ways to make this shit work for you? Like, what, as an artist, what's going on in your world because of this?
Like as you do art, you kind of already train yourself into like this quarantine lifestyle.
Yeah.
That side of it. Okay, but the fact that other people are freaking out, like the internet has just turned everything way more intense, and like something that's that people are letting it consume them, mostly. And it's just like, life's always been a drag, there's always been like these things happening. And the fact that people were quarantined and had anything to do, like they had no distractions. They were kind of just like any little thing would have this chaotic madness. And it's kind of good with the movements going on right now, because it is super powerful and it is inspiring and a bummer, and it's like all emotions all at once, So it just, for me, it's been more just standing back and looking at the bigger picture of like what people have been able to accomplish together, and like, but like this for me, it's just nothing's really changed. Like I still like wake up, do my rituals, and like get to the notebook and see what's going on today, like jot down where the world is at, and like, because it is like, the artist thing is a selfish thing, and you kind of have to you always focus on your own thing, and it's just like,
that's the capitalistic side of it, you know what I mean?
You don't want to be like that. You're not trying to be that person, or like, but it's like you have to battle that demon too, and every day. And shit. Make sure he's like down, and search for happiness for the rest of the day, because you have to look for that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think a part of the, like what you're saying, touching on like that, maybe in a way the creative process can be like, egotistical, but when you strip it of the ego, it's really just really deep self-reflection that you're doing in order to make something, and to be inspired to make something, but yeah, I think we had this conversation a little bit before in the last episode, I think, of like the industry kind of making it seem like you have to be about you all the time, and you're trying to self-promote shit all the time, you know what I mean? This quarantine kind of makes you give perspective on you can do stuff for other people with your art, and your art also is to serve people, you know what I'm saying? We forget that
it's always been to make somebody feel better. Like,
exactly.
Quarantine, what I love about this pandemic is it crushed everything down to a equal playing field, and now no celebrity, like there is no thing, like everybody's we're all have an equal opportunity to kind of like, if you have something, do it, run with it, and it's like the only thing I've gotten out of it, it's all equal now. Anybody that comes out of this pandemic, it's just like a super flood, and it's flooding out all the waste, all the bad, and like whatever's standing is going to be the next generation of like art in general, because it's like there was people that were just doing it for like money and all this kind of like come up
clout,
and now it's not like that no more. It's like, dude, it's only the ones that we're already surviving broke, we're already kind of surviving off their passion, and it's like those are the ones that are going to stand. If time will tell if I'm part of it, I'm just like, I've already been on that survive struggle, like, but that beautiful struggle, it's like, like we get so used to saying we're broke and all this, even when we're not broke, we're used to saying, just because you don't want the universe to know you have a little bit of you kind of, as soon as you say you got money, your tire pops or something, you're driving it.
Right? Yeah. And then it goes all into your car or some whack ass shit.
Like the universe knows if you got like new shoes or some shit, so it's like, but like,
well, the universe knows is when you're not being humble, you know what I'm saying? And when you're trying to act like you got it going on, like that shit will humble you real quick. You know what I mean? If you're in touch with that shit, you know what I mean?
Like, the good test is like when you do the late night like studio sessions, and you're just working on, and then if that shit is still good in the morning, if it's like, if when you like, because at night it's like you're just kind of like over it,
you're in the zone.
You like school, it looks good enough to go to sleep. You've worked enough, and you wake up, you're like just staring at it. You just stare at it for a while. You're listening to it, and you're just like, I'm gonna put this away, like, see what happens, and like, it's like building up. It's always like building up that material. If you don't have like material, then you're kind of like worse off.
You'll lose steam. Yeah, you'll lose steam.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It's a muscle.
Out of that head, it's like keeping that steam, like doubling your own like coal, and like the enchile ganas. Like what we don't right now. It's hard because we don't need it. It's like all this. People are getting like help from unemployment and all that stuff, and they're not working as hard as they need to, and like like this ain't a break time, you know. It's like we've been kind of figuring out how to survive in this and keep people
engaged.
You know, it's like because they forget about you. Like we fade away. Like if you don't post for a day or like a couple hours, you start fading away, and it's just like that's the internet, you know. And that's what we were like. That's why you don't put yourself too much into. You don't invest too much time into that because it's like
frivolous.
You know, like it's a tool. Yeah. All the big ones knew it. Like Prince knew it. All those guys were trying to warn you about the internet and like the tool and those, you know. And people are like giving themselves to these like TikToks and like this. It's just like a whole new world, you know. It's like I'm just like back to like Disney and like watching Aladdin and like kind of like just throwback to like all this shit with moral fiber, you know. Like I grew up with like Fox Kids, and they always had like teamwork and all these commercials about like don't get homegirl pregnant and all this and like now they're just like, well, make sure you use a condom, like good luck, like
now fools are just getting the Tinder, just going at it. I think that's too like I always think about like as long as you don't believe that the internet is real, then you're like halfway there at
keep
least.
It at bay.
Because fools believe that shit is real, especially like people that I know that are not generally influencers, but maybe they got like 8,000 followers or something, and they treat their like livelihood as like, oh, the internet tells me that I'm important, or this is like my worth is these followers, and that ain't your worth, dog. That ain't even shit. It's not even real at all. Like
not even you.
Come on, fucking Will Smith and Jada's crazy cool marriage, like that shit wasn't real, and now we all know it because these dumbasses put it on the internet, like.
And even they're falling apart, you know. And it's just like you try to maintain a healthy mind balance, you know, because you get into the conspiracy stuff and everything that's going on. You're it's just like you end up sounding super wacky when you're talking to other people, and you're just like, man, I want a normal life. I want that like Rialto like skate park, like not give a
small,
shit. Just like that's why I like watching dumb stuff, because it like there's so much serious stuff on TV that I need some like loopy stuff to like just keep me sane.
Oh my god, for sure.
That's what we are, right? Entertainers. We're here to like make people happy, and like I think we lose sight of that, and we're just like, I just want to make good stuff, like moral like images that other people relate to. I just want to make the homies laugh. When I post something, it's just like, as long as like 3 or 4 people I know like liked it and laughed, I'm like, dude, that's it.
I'm good. Yeah. No, for sure.
I don't know about you, but like once I like that blue check, it made everything harder, you know. People are like want to be like, oh, like I'm like, no, like not at all. Like it made everything harder. It made me like have to work harder, because it just people won't touch now, because it's like you have the blue checks and now you're too expensive, or like, and in reality it's like you gotta work. Like I sift through all the emails and like give it a proper look through, and like, all right, which ones seem like it'd be worth my investment, you know, my time investment.
Yeah,
it's difficult. It's like a job. It is like wake up, sift through your emails, and like, and it has slowed down a lot, because there is a lot more artists that are just at home doing like art stuff too, and it's not a rat race competition. It's just everybody's creative, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, like if you think you are, you're like, but it's like people are always gonna reach out to you for your name, you know, your name currency. Like they're only gonna go to you. I know Richie. That's a good investment. That's what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
Not even the art. Art's irrelevant. It's like anybody can copy and duplicate it, but they want that.
Yeah. They want the brand.
You know, like that's what they're paying for, and like and the branding stuff's really difficult too, because it's like I don't like to see myself as like a brand or like a thing like that either just yet, you know. I screen shirts, but I'm like I'm still not comfortable 100% just slanging them, because it's like the quality has to be like on point. If I'm charging people a certain price, I want it to be their favorite, you know? And right now it's merch. It's like band merch stuff. It's like you want to sell it for $15 or like something very like you want them to have it.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Once you sit there, like like now you're that Walmart that you hate, you know, you're the Target, you're that sign now. And I'm like, I don't know, with all the, like documentaries have like the blueprint in front of us to see what they did wrong. Like I love like Hunter S. Thompson. I love his style, but I'm like he was kind of crazy. He did all committed suicide. It's like what did he do wrong? Like I'm married too. And how do I balance work and a relationship, maintain that with like I would like take art over love or something like that. It's like it has to be that balance, you know, like, and that's why it's so hard. Maybe that's why it's so much friction in life. That's why it's like there's always those heartaches because it's like, man, it's not easy to do that. That's why it hurts so much. Like, sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it really isn't easy. I feel like people, especially if you like blow up and shit, it's like people don't even see the amount of work that has been put in for free, you know.
Yeah, they don't see
prior to-
reality.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I think about fools like sometimes once in a while I'll encounter like a dumbass like SoundCloud rapper fool who you can tell like, dude, you're trying to like be some like Kanye West like hotshot fool, but this is if you're trying to make money, this is the worst like
Way to start, like
way to try to make money is through music or art. Like there's so much sacrifice in this shit, like that has to be from love before you even get money from it. Like,
yeah,
you're tripping, dog.
Yeah, it takes like for us, it took so long to even make any money on any gigs.
And you knew that.
We did like we knew that. We were down, you know, but it's like, yeah, obviously we wouldn't be like, yeah, let's do this as our career and be like, you know, we're going to make a shitload of money off of playing at Alex's bar for $50 each, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. There was that one gig where you just like, do you guys remember that gig where you're just like, I'm not gonna work anymore, or like you felt like you didn't need to work anymore, or you felt confident enough? Like, did you guys ever hit that?
No.
No, we're still fucking trudging along.
I mean, I kind of hit that last year when I quit my day job, just to be able to just like, because our album was coming out, and I knew that there was gonna be an influx of work. But then our album came out, and then fucking the world went to shit because of the pandemic as far as the music industry. So I don't know at this point what that like if my hunch of being able to quit my job was the right thing to do, because it's just like now I'm just on unemployment right now and still making music, but not really making money that much, you know.
Which is like too, because it's like you earned that money too, so it's not like it was just there, you know. It's like you put it time too, and it's you knew when doing something full force, like when you go full time, it's just like you have to invest a lot of time, you know, and like it's the relationship. Like I have duties at home. I still have to wake up, make the bed, do all these chores stuff around the house. It's not like I could just art all day, you know. And people think that all the time that you just get to art all day, and I'm like, no, I'm learning how to animate. I'm learning how to do a bunch of different things, layout, because I'm still not like that good. I'm still catching up to my own like style and like and you know, you never feel fully comfortable. You know, you're never like you're never gonna go, I'm Jordan or I'm this shit. You know, I'm just like you just kind of.
I can't even fathom that, honestly. Like what?
You know, you're never gonna be that, and you're just always gonna be like you're always gonna be doing this, you know. And it's like in some form, you know, where it's like skateboarding. Like I'd still like to be a part of it somehow. I don't do it as much as I'd like, or nothing at all. Like it just fucking it's hot. Like kind of better. Like in the summer, like hot. Like now it's just like, dude, like I'll go on car rides, feel uncomfortable and like under boob sweat and like realize how like the road systems are, and you're just bouncing around.
Yeah.
And all like, dang, like I got a bike. I started doing
Or like sometimes I'll try to go skate and I'll do like, I don't know, like a kick flip or two, and then eat shit and be like, all right, I'm done. Like my stamina is all whack right now.
and you get deflated, you get ponchas, and you're just like, oh man,
Dude, I can't mess my hands up. Like all that shit.
just the skateboarding industry is so different too now, and it's just like I
The
did watch
culture is way
Insane.
different.
girls skate.
There's
Like,
no magazines no more. It's all IG. It's all
nobody has
IG.
nobody has like the ganas to create their own like thing, you know. They're just like, I think they take a lot of that industry for granted, and I think that's every industry, because I'm like, right now we have the independent power to just do it all ourselves, you know. I just watching like comedians like Hannibal Buress put on their own thing on their own YouTube, like their own special, like that's where we're at right now. It's just,
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go. I think at the point I am now, I'm like I do work for other people, but like, you know, the end game is just creating your own. Like at the end of it, it's
Yeah,
like
production.
you're gonna create the best for yourself, and like, and you know what it's supposed to look like, and it just figuring out how to make yourself cooler. Just from now on, you know, it's just like, how do I make whatever I'm doing more interesting and like keep it going, and like, because you have to build like that equity with your own self, and like, all right, like I got to build myself up and like, and protect the stuff, and like just do everything like extra legit while still having fun, you know, because you never want to say business. You never want to turn your passion into a business, because then it's just work, and then it's like you left a warehouse to work another warehouse. It's like that makes no sense. Like
Yeah. I was.
like, we don't want to grow up. Like it's like I think this is like
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
like Toys R Us kids for life, and that's
It's the best quote.
Ninja Turtles makes sense now. All this stuff that we grew up that we love makes sense, because it's like people like us that made it, you know, like like dudes and grandparents that are just creative and just didn't want to like wear a suit. And like I've only worn a suit like twice in my life, and that was for my wedding and somebody else's wedding. That was it.
Tight. Hell yeah. Fuck a suit.
You remember in school, they're like, you gotta wear a suit to your job thing, and like, not if you're working.
Yeah. Dude, I remember I think in high school we had to do like a fake interview thing. And I dressed up for it. I had like one suit that I just never washed or did shit with it. It was all like kind of pretty dirty and
crusty.
And probably crusty and
Jizz crust? You had jizz
fucking
crust?
wrinkly, like.
Did you jack off
and
in
I'm
your
over
suit?
here trying to get a job at Eisenhower.
No
You
hand.
busted in your suit?
Hey, who knows? I was a teenager. But yeah, fuck a suit, dog.
Sure, a little pre.
Does anybody I don't know if this happens to you, but does anybody think that you're rich? I feel like it's happened before. Like a couple of fans will like come up to me and be like, "Dude, like you made it! Like it's so awesome!" Like, dude, and they think I'm rich, and I'm like, "What? I'm not." None of us are rich. Like we're so grimy. Like
Put it
barely
on the
making
record.
it.
None of us are rich.
You don't
We
want
ain't
to tell
rich, dog.
people too. You don't want to tell them that the higher you get up, the more like harder it gets, or like the more shit kind of like unveils, and you're like, man, this is phonier than before. Like, damn, like 5 years ago, this would have been dope, but now that you're in it, you're just like, oh, God, as the magic's kind of like withered away, and you're just like, all right, that's where that term that I coined, that back to no future, because I did all this, I built it up, and then back to no future. It's like, all right, back to nothing. Like, let's just start over. It's like, it took me 10 years to get to nothing, you know? Like, it took me 10 years starting.
I think,
like, all right, I gotta organize. Organization is it. So like, because it's like, I say organize, but it's like really just manifest. Because if you're not manifesting these thoughts and ideas, and like, then nothing will happen. Oh, and if you're always negative, you're just gonna manifest negativity, you know. And so you gotta be careful how you word stuff too, because like, you know, creators like have that strong manifestations, and like usually like it's trippy, but it's just like things that you say will happen down the line. Like the amount of work you'd probably create, like stoned or something, you're like, how did I get anything done? Like, or you're just like, but you look at your notebooks, you're like, whoa, this is crazy. Like,
yeah,
yeah, dude, That happens to me so much where I'll be like, I'm a loser. I can't write anything. And then look at my phone and be like, actually, I wrote like 5 songs. Which one is good for me to start like fucking with? Like the whole time I'm freaking out.
I like that point that you're making, the Back to No Future point. I think that's a really poignant, like, artistic thing, you know, because it really, you know, Back to No Future is like, yeah, you work for 10 plus years or whatever all your life to get to the point of whatever you thought was supposed to be it. You know what I mean? And you realize, oh, this is not even it. I didn't even really want to sign up for this shit. But it really just hones back like, well, the reason why you did any of that, because it unveils the real intention and the real, you know, like, why you did it was because you loved it. And
Yep.
that love that you put into it is what is actually valuable to other people. You know, the monetary shit that happens or the big business shit that happens, those are all just like symptoms of what happens when you do what you love.
Money,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
money just
And
supports.
they come and go too. They're not like, you know, you can get some big shit. You got to get more big shit.
It's like roller coasters of like depression. You know, you get sad, you get like all these emotions at once, and you feel it. You know, and like, and that's what Los Dumpies was to me. I created like those characters and stuff to kind of like relate to myself, pretty much talk to myself, so I can like when I'm drawing them out, and like drawing a dumpster time machine, because like, why not? Like, if you were to make a time machine, what would you make it out of? Like, I picked a dumpster because like my dad's worked like Vertec, the waste industries, for like 20 years or whatever, and like I grew up seeing the dumpster, and like it was a very like super dope icon and totem for me to look at, and like it just reminded me just hard work, you know, just keep working, just it's all trash, you know, we do, we collect all, when you die and stuff, like all your shit ends up getting thrown out anyway, so it's just like, it's not like I think that I got a cool reality of that, because like one of my neighbors like down the hall like ended up passing away, and I ended up seeing the process of all her junk just getting tossed out, you know, just, and then just people just to the dumpster and just taking everything, and just like, you know, you collect and hoard all these like these things, and then what happens, like they just take it and just like
disperse it.
Just try, yeah.
Instead of throwing it away, might as well, that trash that I like the dumpster brain, like might as well be ideas, you know, and give them out. Like might as well just toss them out and just help somebody else's day. And that's where all like my gifts and all that stuff are like. I think it's when that one person tells you like, hey man, like thanks for that, or like I really helped me that day. Like, you know, it's not about you. It's like that selfishness, all that selfishness makes sense at some point, because it's like you're doing it for somebody else, you know. And then like once you learn that we're all like can connect in a certain level, you know, and then we're all the same, and then you kind of like, damn, like that's why I like all the movements and all the protests and like everything, it makes sense, because it's like we're all feeling it, you know, and like we're all
in solidarity.
Yeah, and like you might not be that like social warrior, like that person that goes out and does like stuff, but like you find ways, you know, you find music, and like, and that jam you guys put out earlier like a while ago too was super sick. That GGL Inside.
Sick.
Oh my god, that shit.
Thank you.
Like, I was like, it just shows how universal you guys can be. Like now it's like you made music making more fun, because it's like there is no fucking genre. There's just, let's just make something, you know, and like you're not pigeonholing yourselves at this as this like Chicano band or anything. Like now you're like, you're just creators, and you're just like expressing yourselves in the best fucking way, you know. And like, and I see that shit. That's the stuff I get like sad with about shows, because I'm like, that's what you know, it's a good show. You don't even make it to the end of the set. You're just so inspired. You want to go home and make a beat or something. You're just like, that's a good fucking show. Like, that you just forget everything. You just don't even end up watching the show, and you're just like, there.
I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta hit the lab real quick.
Yeah.
That's what I miss about like shows and music and like stuff. And that's what I started doing now. Now I'm collecting. I'll just record lyrics, write shit down, and just repeat it, just talk, you know, and just like, I find that's interesting. And if some people relate to that, like even if it's like 2 or 4, like it's cool, you know. It's like it's giving me more like encouragement to just put stuff like that out, you know, because now
Yeah.
I'm I'm artist in a different, like, I'm just expressing myself, you know, like I just,
Yep.
I'm sad, I'm like, I'm just finding different mediums of making today like better, you know, and like
Yeah.
it's not even art anymore. It's just I just do it, you know, and if people relate with it, cool. If not, then I'm gonna make something else. And my feed's always changing. It's like hard to keep up with my stuff anyways, but I'll see the people that really dig into my stuff, and I'm like, damn, these people are really
About it.
going through a lot of stuff. I'm like, it's not about that 60K, it's about that 200 or that 20 or that 5. It's like that's what it's
Really
all about.
fucking with it.
The blue check sucks. Like I like it didn't do anything. It didn't like make like anything easier. It made it, if anything, just harder, you know. It was just kind of more of a curse, and because everybody's like verified, like who decides what's verified and what's not, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we got the blue check mark, my sister called me and was like, "Whoa, you got a blue check mark?" I was like, I feel exactly the same. Like I was like,
Remember, I know.
It
I
like
remember
means,
seeing it one day. Like,
yeah, I was like,
what? Oh, all right. Like, whatever.
yeah, okay. But apparently, to some people, it means something. I guess, right? It's like
For me, it was very important to get that check, because like there's a lot of inspired kids that are like been doing it and like that grime style, and it's just like, man, I don't really want to like. I have to fight for my own creation.
oh,
like,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, man, I need something to kind of help me out a bit. Like I need to be that guy that at least did something with it. You know, was like the creator of it, or like even then.
Yeah.
know? Like,
Put your stamp on it.
Like, so with that check, it's like, all right, that legit thing means something to somebody else, nothing to me. But it's like, all right, at least all the other people that are doing it, they know, like, okay, that's the guy. You know,
That's the originator.
He has
Yep.
a
Yeah.
check.
When
That
I
makes
first
sense.
It's super shitty.
when I first came across people doing your style, I was like, what the fuck? I was like mad.
Yeah, dude.
And I remember
For reals.
I remember sending you something, and he's like, and you were like, you're super chill about it. You're like, oh yeah, like
Because
so many fools do that shit.
I had like, oh, just paste, like they're like still there. Like it's a waste of energy. So it's just like, I've dealt with it early on. Yeah, I was like pissy kid, like, oh no, like
Yeah.
like no, it's just like, but it's like you kind of learn to like there is no stopping it, you know. It's kind of getting to like that higher level that took like artists 20 years for it to make it okay for other people to copy him, because he's established, he's well off. What am I taking from him, you know? But like for me, it's like, dude, like every take, like I'm gonna get every like gonna reach everything. They want to grime it. I'm like, that's cool, you know. It's kind of, I started off as figured I'm a fan of. You have to be with why you do it. Paying homage to.
Yeah. Tony, pick up your phone so it's not getting the feedback.
Yeah, it's feedbacking.
What do I do?
You
Just
just have
don't-
to not cover the mic to give it feedback.
Oh.
Yeah, we
Is it
really
feedbacking still?
talk, Richie.
No, you're good.
Yeah, that whole thing that you were just saying was like feedbacking.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I can't hear anything.
Was I saying
Yeah.
something?
Huh?
What was I saying?
I
Quiz.
don't remember.
I have no idea because it was like.
Yeah, it's all feedbacky.
We're gonna say it wasn't important. That was life saying it was just natural selection saying, nah.
Or Tony's hand.
Sorry, dog.
Good. It's all good.
No.
It's all good.
But yeah, man, like I love that you guys are doing this, and like just for the shits, you know, just because you
Yeah.
can. Like I want to do, like I started this series this week too called Life is Fuji, and that's with this crew called Sunshine Official, and they just early on they were just fans, and he just approached me. Actually, it was like I went to go get pizza at a farmer's market, and I was wearing one of my sweaters with Pizza Boys, and like one of the pizza guys that were there, he's like, oh, you're Pizza Boys, like, I was like, oh yeah, I work with these dudes, and just kind of connect with that. And then the employee that was there, her boyfriend, like his husband or whatever, they work on this, like they just do a lot of filmography stuff and like just film stuff, you know. And I'm like, they had approached me to just do like little interviews too, and like, and he put this first episode together to kind of like tell my story, you know, because it's like,
Yeah.
why not? Right now, it's just like we might die, so it's good to kind of document stuff like this. Like, you know, it's like a reality, it's a grim reality, but like that's the only reason I've been posting my photos out, because I'm like, I want
Yeah.
the internet that created this, and it's a person, because we might die. Like that's just with the way shit's going right now. It's like, dude, like who knows? You know, it's morbid and grim, but it's like, you know, that's vida, and like,
Yeah.
and I feel like, dude, if nobody else is gonna put my story, it's like, again, you gotta put it out independently and like at least protect myself a little bit like that, you know. So it's just like, just so it inspires other people to kind of like do the same and like just kind of like go through the struggles, you know. Because if you, I feel if you cheat yourself of your struggles, then it's like, dude, you're gonna miss out on so much experience. I think if you just copy somebody, you just want to like, you're cheating yourself that experience of learning, you know. And like, I'm kind of happy, like that's why I picked up a notebook, and like I started off digital, and I'm like, man, like I almost lost that opportunity to write down notes and all this stuff, and like and like certain things unlock that, you know, that idea to just kind of like journal and like and do that. And
Definitely.
because it's all ideas, you know, and just making your ideas come to life, and
They start somewhere too.
Just a fun way.
Hey,
It's like saying Must Fun 2020. It's just like, that's why I've been just trying to, you know.
We're gonna run out. We're about to run out of time, so let's just
that's fast.
Yeah.
let's just say bye to everybody. Thanks for thanks for doing. Sorry, I don't have pro whatever.
You're good.
Zoom.
Little quickies.
Yeah, thanks for doing this again. Sorry, I accidentally deleted a bunch of shit on my computer, and so this is number 2.
Oh yeah.
Dude, you
So-
deleted
Much
my
love,
dick
Richie.
pics.
Super dope.
Yeah,
Dude,
thanks,
love
man.
you, man.
Dude, man, thank you guys for doing this again, and
Sure.
Hope to see you in the future.
back
Let's
to
keep
no
it pushing.
future.
Back to no future, baby.
Yeah.
All right, doggy.
Toys R Us kids forever.
Buckin with Brainstory, you know what it is. Late.
My wife says I have to grow up. I'm just kidding. No, she's supporting me. Stay baby, pay the bills. You know? Like,
Stay, baby, pay the bills. Yeah.
pay the bills.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
All right. Peace.